Season 2, Episode 7, May the Best Pet Win. This episode begins with Rainbow Dash enjoying a fast-speed flying session when suddenly, Twilight's pet owl, Aloysius, suddenly appears. From here, Rainbow Dash challenges the owl to keep up. I'm Count Lurchalot, and this is Lukewarm Television. Surprisingly, Aloysius can, but then suddenly something even more surprising happens. Aloysius gains the head of Applejack's dog Winona, then it changes to the head of Fluttershy's rabbit Angel, along with the body of Pinky's alligator Gummy. Rainbow Dash is officially weirded out by this, and the weirdness only continues when the creature vomits out Rarity's cat Opal. It's then revealed this was all just a dream Rainbow Dash was having, cliché much, but then we see Opal is really up in the tree with her and is hiding from the other pets of the main characters. After the opening credits, the other main characters appear and their pets return to them. Turns out, they regularly gather up their pets for a pet playdate. This is something they do every week. It's then revealed through a hyperactive Pinkie Pie tangent that they were going to invite Rainbow Dash, but since she doesn't have a pet, and she likes to nap in the afternoon, and since she won't be missing out on anything, they didn't. People tell me there are times I should just be quiet and not be completely honest. I think this is one of those times. I think Pinkie Pie could also be eligible for the element of honesty because she's just as brutally honest as Applejack at times. Thankfully, Rainbow Dash isn't mad as she agrees that there's no point in inviting her if she doesn't have a pet, but then she points out that just because she doesn't have a pet doesn't mean she'll never want a pet. This causes Fluttershy to light up as she has many potential choices at her home and she feels Rainbow Dash could give them a good home. They then head to Fluttershy's cottage where she breaks into a song about how she believes that she'll be able to find the perfect pet for Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash has rules, however, that being that the pet she gets be awesome and cool. Specifically, that she needs something as fast as a bullet to keep up with her. High expectations there, Rainbow. Fluttershy provides Rainbow Dash with many options. There's also a tortoise that's constantly bugging Rainbow Dash. Keep your eye on that tortoise, they're important. Rainbow Dash continues to empathize she needs something that is fast and can fly. Rainbow and Fluttershy also make a surprisingly good duet. This eventually leads to Rainbow Dash having too many options, so she decides to hold a contest to determine which animal is the best for her, hence the name of the episode. She even name drops it.
May the best pet win!
The lineup for Rainbow Dash's potential pet is as follows. First is whatever this is, I think that's a woodpecker, an owl, a duck, a butterfly, falcon, toucan, ladybug, bat, flamingo, eagle, another duck, and a wasp. I'd go with the toucan or the flamingo. Before the competition begins, she gives them a drill sergeant speech about how difficult it will be. Then, out of nowhere, Fluttershy pushes the tortoise from earlier into the lineup. Told you they were important. Rainbow Dash is understandably confused by this, as tortoises are slow, but according to Fluttershy, this tortoise has always dreamed of being a pet, and requests Rainbow Dash let him try. Rainbow Dash objects, but after continued begging from Fluttershy, she relents. They then proceed to play a series of games to determine which of them has the traits Rainbow is looking for in a pet. These include speed, agility, guts, style, coolness, awesomeness, and radicalness. I feel those last three are just synonyms of each other. Thankfully, Twilight agrees. For the speed competition, long story short, the falcon wins and the tortoise doesn't even make it past the starting line. Next is a test in agility, which they test through flight in an obstacle course, which of course the tortoise can't compete in because he can't fly. Rainbow is also mean and calls him the definition of the opposite of agility. The woodpecker wins this one and gets a high... I don't know, I mean the pony has a hoof and the bird has a wing, so high something. Next is a test of guts to get Opal's favorite toy away from her. Spike accomplished this in a previous episode, maybe he should be Rainbow Dash's pet. Surprisingly, the butterfly has the most guts and uses their wings to distract the cat. Though, to the tortoise's credit, he does try to trap Opal in the carrier, but fails miserably. Next is style, which leads to a photo shoot. Based on Rainbow Dash's previous taste in fashion, I don't know if she can be trusted in this. I don't know who wins, but I think the tortoise flops. For coolness, they have to do their animal cry. The poor turtle just creeps Rainbow out and the eagle wins. Next is awesomeness. The owl wins and the tortoise gets criticized for being repetitive. I'm guessing the next is radicalness? Looks like a talent show to me. I think the bat wins for being cool but loses points for not being radical. I honestly don't know the difference. Personally, I would have given the win to the bat because they play the theme song using wine glasses. Listen. The tortoise tries to do an extreme obstacle course, and I don't think I need to say what happens. Rainbow then reveals which animals made the cut, and sadly, it doesn't include the tortoise. After telling the tortoise to go home, she tells the finalists that the final tie-breaking round will be a race against her through Ghastly Gorge. Great name. Before the race starts, Rainbow Dash tells the animals that the one who manages to cross the finish line with her will have earned the honor of being her pet. The race begins, and despite being told to go home, the tortoise decides to race regardless. You gotta admire him for his determination. I'm not going to go into great detail about the race, so here's what's important. I really recommend you watch the race though, it has some exciting moments. Halfway through the race, Rainbow isn't looking where she's going, and causes an avalanche. Her wing gets trapped under a rock, and despite pleading for the birds and the bat to come back for her, they continue the race without her. A part of me wonders if this is karma for being mean to the tortoise, but who knows. I also feel I could make a 127 hours joke here, but I won't because I haven't seen that movie, and that's a little dark for this show. Thankfully, the tortoise appears, and although she meanly insults him, he's nice enough to help get the rock off her. What a nice and strong tortoise. At the finish line, the Falcon crosses the finish line first, as the other main characters eagerly cheer for the finish. However, they become increasingly worried when they discover Rainbow Dash isn't with them. Using binoculars, they discover the avalanche and worry for Rainbow Dash's safety. Thankfully, as Pinky is a master of finding Rainbow Dash, she's able to spot the tortoise carrying Rainbow Dash to the finish line. You know, considering the speed these animals were going, I feel that's a pretty fast tortoise. That being said, considering the tortoise's speed, they decide to meet them halfway. In the end, Rainbow Dash and the tortoise cross the finish line together, and the other main characters are happy to see Rainbow Dash is okay. After thanking the tortoise for his help, Fluttershy announces the Falcon as Rainbow Dash's new pet. However, despite the Falcon fulfilling all of Rainbow Dash's requirements, she seems a little uncertain of the decision. And then she reminds them that the animal that crossed the finish line with her would be her pet, and the only one that did was the tortoise who helped while she was in trouble. The Falcon is disappointed but accepts defeat with grace. Rainbow then asks for Spike to take a letter for the princess. Rainbow learnt that the traits she used to look for in both a pet and friend were those based on physical or competitive abilities. Does that mean we wouldn't be friends? That makes me sad. Anyway, she now recognizes that was short-sighted and shallow. She learnt a more important quality to look for, an attitude of dedication that a real winner has, which the tortoise has, or tenacity as Twilight describes it. In the meantime, the tortoise manages to complete the test of guts by getting Opal's favorite toy. Appreciating the tortoise's resilience, Rainbow Dash adopts him as her pet and names him Tank. However, Fluttershy then brings up the issue of Rainbow Dash wanting a pet that flies. This is comically resolved by putting a helicopter on his back that I'm guessing Twilight has put a continuous spell on to keep it running. I think this has a message I can truly appreciate. When finding a pet or friend, we want to find one that fits many of the traits we have, but at the end of the day, it's better to have a friend who will be there for us when we need them most. Tank accomplished this by being the only potential pet to help Rainbow Dash when she needed help, which made him an ideal pet. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next review.